All right, welcome folks in upstate New York. Um, this is the CASTA Virtual College Fair hosted by StriveScan. My name is Earl Makem and I am the StriveScan facilitator for tonight. Just to make sure things are rolling along and the presenters are moving from one presentation to another. So in the chat feature, you will see our colleges who are presenting with us tonight. Endicott College, LaSalle University, Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, MCPHS, which is Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Science, Massachusetts Maritime Academy, and the University of Rochester. So that's our order tonight, folks, and our presenters know that's the case. So a few things, housekeeping things before I pass the baton over to Endicott. The Q&A function in your toolbar is live and active. You can actually present your questions to our panelists directly through the Q&A. They'll get it, they'll answer it there, and hopefully give you the information you need. Your camera and your microphone are off as an audience, so they don't hear you or see you, you only see them. I do recommend that you sign up for more CASTA sessions. You can find that schedule on the StriveScan website. And this session is being recorded, so you'll be able to see that there at that web link. So, okay, so I'm going to take down my screen and I'm going to pass the baton over to Chris from Endicott, and he's going to start us going. So have a great fair. I hope you learn a lot, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Earl, and welcome everybody. My name's Chris Lipscomb. I'm an assistant director of admission at Endicott College. Hopefully you can all hear me and see my screen, see the slides that I'm sharing, or maybe I just paused it. So give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So this is a look at Endicott College's campus. For those of you who haven't been able to visit us, this is a good picture of most of our campus, right on the water in Beverly, Massachusetts. I have a short time with you this evening, so I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons that we at Endicott believe a student is choosing a school nowadays. And those 5 reasons are size, location, reputation of the college, programs. You're not going to go to a school that doesn't offer your academic program, and then cost. So that's kind of how my quick presentation is going to be structured. I'll talk about our size and location first. We are located in Beverly, Massachusetts, which is about 20 miles north of Boston. So if you're looking for a school that has access to a big city, but isn't necessarily in a big city, I think Endicott's a great fit for that. We are located right on the water, as I mentioned, with 3 private beaches right across the street. So when the weather is nice, like it has been the past couple of days, our students are able to kind of hang out by the water in between classes and after classes. In terms of our size, we are just under 3,000 undergraduate students. Our students represent 38 different countries and 30 states. So we have students coming from all around the world to be students at Endicott. And our graduate population, that enrolled graduate student number you see there of about 1,700 are commuters and adult learners, so non-traditional learners. So the number of students that are going to be on campus, your residential population, is going to be that 2,900 number, just under 3,000. And you can see some of the other statistics about campus and campus life. Housing is guaranteed all 4 years, and 93% of our students will live on campus all 4 years. And it's a very active campus on the weekends. So you can see there 91% of students stay on campus. And we know that by just who's swiping into the dining hall. So if they're eating on campus, we know they're around. I'll kind of transition into our programs next. We offer just about 80 different programs between majors and minors. We're a liberal arts college, so there's a lot of different offerings. You can see them all here, our 8 different academic schools. Take a look at these more in depth on our website. I can't get into every academic program now, but that is our list of programs. So if there's something there that piques your interest, I'd recommend taking a look on our website to dive a little bit deeper into that. So that's 3 out of the 5. The one I want to spend the most time on is our reputation. So Endicott was founded in 1939 as a 2-year women's school. And at that time, they implemented the first ever internship program. So Endicott was the first college in the country to require internships for graduation. Fast forward to today in 2021, 4-year liberal arts co-ed college. That program has evolved immensely, and every student completes 3 internships on campus. So 100% of our students complete this internship model. And I'll quickly move over to kind of highlight the model for you here. The internships are done typically in the freshman, sophomore, junior year. That's how the program's set up. Students do the first 2 internships during the winter break of their freshman and sophomore year. So typically those internships are done back home. They do have the option to stay on campus and utilize how close we are to Boston to do their internships. And then the senior year internship is the one that's typically done. It's a full semester internship and typically done from campus, commuting into Boston or commuting around the North Shore. We have students that get creative and do their internships at a distance domestically or at a distance internationally. I actually graduated from Endicott in 2017, and I had a friend that did her internship in Spain. So that was a pretty cool story. Don't have time to tell the whole story right now, but that's kind of how the model's set up. You can see it right there. 3 internships, 1 in the freshman year, 1 in the sophomore year, 1 in the senior year. Nursing education and athletic training have a little bit of a variation. Nursing students do clinicals, education students are doing pre-practicums and student teaching rotations, and then our athletic training students are actually getting in our athletic training facility and working with our student athletes, so they have their clinicals as well right on campus. So those are the 3 variations to the model. But other than that, 100% of the students in all the other programs are completing internships. Everybody else is doing a little bit, something a little bit different. You can see some of the outcomes here. 98% of students had full-time jobs or were in graduate school 6 months after graduation. That's from the class of 2019. We measure at 6 months because that's when you have to start paying back your student loans if you have any. So we want to make sure at that 6-month period you're employed or so you can afford your loans or in graduate school. And 90% of students found employment related to their major. So that's the big thing that I want to highlight, is that students at Endicott are graduating with direction, and they have an idea, before they even get to the stage at graduation, what they want to do. They have a resume, they have a degree, and they have direction because they were able to kind of feel out their industry through their 4 years and graduate with experience, which helps the job placement rate immensely. And the internships are not placements. Students are free to do their internships wherever they'd like. We have a ton of support in place. Professional development classes before every internship, an internship and career service center that's super, super helpful. And every student has an internship coordinator that's separate from their academic advisor. So there's a lot of support in place. So quick snapshot of where some students are doing internships in the past few years. You can see, as I was talking about, the bigger where is the 26 different states and 18 different countries. Now, part of that is because we have students coming from all around the world to be students at Endicott. But again, part of that is our students getting creative with that senior year internship. So just wanted to show that very quickly. Cost of attendance, you can see here, total cost of attendance in our financing options. The FAFSA is the only thing we require for need-based financial aid. And then I'll skip to my contact slide. You can snap a picture of that real quick if you want to reach out for more details.
Chris, great. Thanks so much. I want to remind our audience again about that Q&A feature. You can go ahead and pose your questions through that particular function on your toolbar. So next up is Zach from LaSalle University. Zach, off you go.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. As I get this pulled up, bear with me just a moment. There we go, full screen. So coming to you tonight from LaSalle University. If you're not familiar, we are located just outside of Boston in Newton, Massachusetts. Newton and Boston share a city line, so we are right next door there. In fact, if you go into Google Maps and you put a pin on campus on one side and the other on City Hall on the other, you're going to get a distance of rounds down to 8 miles. We're a smaller institution with about 1,700 undergraduate students, focused on small classrooms. Like you can see, a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of about 17. Those numbers aren't quite the same. Reason for that, we do cap our classes at 25. So I can tell you right now, you're never going to have a class bigger than that. But on the other end, when you do start to get on some of the classes in your major, the things you're really excited about, those classes are going to be closer to 10. So 25 on the high end, about 10 or so on the low end, small classes all throughout your time here. Everything at LaSalle academically is based on the idea of connected learning. And the thought there is kind of what it sounds like. We want everything that you see in the classroom, hear in the classroom, read about for class to have a clear connection to what you're going to be doing as a professional after you graduate. So lecture-based classes really aren't a thing here at LaSalle. You're going to find more often than not that when you walk into your classroom, your professors are going to be leading a discussion where everyone's talking openly, or you're going to be working on a semester-long project perhaps, or maybe you're taking a site visit into the city. About 80% of our students do choose to live on campus all year, and I think a big part of that is because of our location. Like we said, we do have easy access to Boston. We're right in between 2 stops on the T, Boston subway. So if you walk about 5 minutes off campus in either direction, you're going to be on the train. From there, a quick ride into downtown. But I think another part of that is because some of the unique housing we offer. While we do have a lot of probably the traditional dorms you think of, college residence halls, if you look in the bottom right side on my screen here, you can see a big white house. About half of the residential buildings on campus are actual converted homes. So if you're someone who's maybe thinking about having that apartment living style in college, we have a way for you to do that on campus where you've got that added benefit of having a meal plan, knowing where you're getting your food every day. If you're someone who's interested in sports, I want to let you know that we are a member of the NCAA at Division III level. We have 17 varsity sports, so probably something for everyone, but I am huge fans in particular of our women's soccer team has been very strong. Men's and women's basketball are great. Men's and women's lacrosse have been top of the conference, and so great place to be an athlete or to be a fan. Academically, like you've heard already, I can't tell you every major we have on campus, but with just under 70, they all kind of fall under these umbrellas where you can see based on our schools, business, communication, the arts, fashion, health science, and humanities, education, justice, and social sciences. So we have a lot of the kind of traditional liberal arts style majors like your English, your business management, your history, but we also have a couple of unique ones that I want to draw your attention to. Amongst them, things like hospitality management or event management, things like sport communication and sport management. We have an awesome exercise science program. If you're someone, for example, who wants to be an athletic trainer, that exercise science is a great program to get you into our master's in athletic training. Some really awesome programs like forensic science, some education programs where certification is a requirement to graduate. And then a couple of my favorites are in our School of Fashion. We have an awesome fashion design and production program if you're someone who has a pair of shears in one hand and a needle in the other. But if you're someone who's more interested in the business side of the field, we have an awesome fashion media program and an awesome fashion management and merchandising program. Regardless of what you study at LaSalle, though, I want to make sure you know that every one of our students takes at least one internship while they're with us. For about 60% of our students, it's at least 2 full internships. And what I think makes those opportunities really unique is when we have that proximity to Boston, but perhaps more importantly, we work really hard to make sure that your internship experience is meaningful, that when it's over, you can say, I managed a team, or I oversaw a project, or I worked with a client. We want it to be the kind of experience where when you walk into a job interview, you can say, I know what I'm doing because I had the opportunity to practice in my internship. So in large part, I think because of that internship program, over the last 10 years, we've averaged about 96% of our students either in graduate school or in their first job within 6 months of graduating. So again, knowing that the time is of the essence, I want to make sure you know about a couple of things that are coming up in the near future. First is that if you like anything that I had to say here tonight, I want to invite you to get more of it. We have a spring open house intended for primarily for high school juniors, but anyone who might be interested in 3 Saturdays on April 10th. It's a completely virtual event, but it's an opportunity to take a tour of campus, to talk to some of our professors, and to get some more detailed information. If you are someone who is willing to travel out to Massachusetts, we do also have some limited in-person visits. I encourage you to check out our website, see that visit availability if that's something you might be interested in. To get a little bit ahead of ourselves, we are in the Common App. So if that's something you're thinking about and maybe you're planning for that, know that we are in the Common App. You can reach out to us that way. And we are on the FAFSA when that opens in October. I'm sorry, I should mention, we do encourage every student who's interested in LaSalle to come to campus, sit down and talk with us one-on-one in the form of an interview. If you're someone who's potentially interested in fashion design or graphic design, we do offer portfolio reviews where you can get yourself some extra scholarship money. So I've got my contact information here. I am freeze there for a second in case anyone wants to snap a screenshot of that. And then before I turn over my time here, I do want to give you also our general contact information. And as much as I can talk in 600 or so minutes, I do want to make sure you know that our social media is a great way to kind of see firsthand what we're about. I think it gives you a little bit more information than I can in the time frame here. So I thank you all for your time, and hope to see you on campus or on our open house in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Ben, great. No, so, Zach, great. Ben's up next. Sorry about that. All right, Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts, MCLA. Ben, you're on board. There you go.
All right, 1 second. All right, hi everyone. My name is Ben Mancino. I'm a proud alum of MCLA. During my time at MCLA, I studied arts management with a minor in business administration, and I'm going to dive right in. So first, I'm going to start with a brief overview. So here at MCLA, we have a student body that's a little bit over 1,500. Our average class size is 17, typically capped at about 30, and our student to faculty ratio is 12:1. So we are a smaller campus, no large lecture halls. Some of the perks obviously are that you will be known by name. If you're looking for a school where you can hide, we're definitely not that school. But we are a school where after you graduate and you are searching for job opportunities or considering graduate school, you will have professors that know your name, know your strengths, and they can write letters of recommendation for you or be a reference for a job. And MCLA has been ranked one of the top 10 liberal arts colleges by US News and World Report for 3 years in a row. And we were ranked one of 26 colleges with low tuition costs and high salaries for our graduates. So although we're small, we are definitely a mighty college. And who are our students? Well, we are State University of Massachusetts, so 71% of our students come from in-state. However, we do sit 15 minutes east of the New York border. So due to this proximity, we do offer reduced tuition for our New York residents. So that's definitely a perk. I was from North Greenbush, New York, the capital district, and I ended up at MCLA because of that reduced tuition program. And 40% of our students are first generation, 25% of our students are students of color, and 62% of our students live on campus full-time. Seniors can live off campus, and anyone within 20 miles of campus can also commute. And here at MCLA, we do offer 21 majors, but our most popular ones are English communications, education, psychology, business administration, and undeclared. And as far as unique majors go, we offer radiologic technology, electrical engineering, and arts management, which is arts and business. And here at MCLA, since we are a smaller college, there's more opportunities to take on leadership opportunities because you're competing with less people for the same e-board positions. So we tend to see that a lot of our students have really full resumes by the time they graduate, just because there are a lot of clubs and not as many people competing for those opportunities. So definitely take advantage of the clubs that are available at MCLA, or you can also start your own if you don't see one available that you'd really like to join. And next up is student spaces. So we just finished our brand new fitness center, which opened up this year. It's 3 times the size of our old one. So as an alum, I'm kind of jealous, but I still get to use it. So it's all good. But other student spaces around campus include the Empowerment Lounge. So that is a space for our students of color. We are a predominantly white campus, so we do have some safe spaces for our students. The second one being the Multicultural Education Resource Center, also known as MERC. And then along with those student spaces, we have some on the 3rd floor of our campus center, such as the Volunteer Center, the Women's Center, the Identity and Gender Equality Resource Center, also known as IGE, and a commuter lounge. And if you're looking for athletics, we do offer Division III athletics. All of the sports are listed on the left. A little fun fact, so our athletic complex is located off campus. However, we do own a 70-acre forest, and you can actually hike up to the athletic complex. So even if you don't have a car or you don't know someone with a car, when you first get to MCLA, you can still hike up to the fields. And housing at MCLA, We do guarantee housing for all 4 years, and we only have a 3-year residency requirement. So if you want to live off campus your senior year, you can. But if you want to stay on campus for all 4 years, we guarantee it. Our 3 options include Berkshire Towers, which is suite style living. So if you tend to be an introvert and you want to ease into college, we recommend Berkshire Towers first. That's what I chose. If you are an extrovert and you want to be around a lot of people your freshman year, Who's a Call is your best way to go. It's traditional dormitory style, long hallways, lots of people. And if you're, well, after your freshman year, you can choose to live in our townhouses, which are on-campus apartments. And you can live with 4 to 6 of your friends. They come with a kitchen, 1.5 bathrooms, and a living room. And North Adams is located in Berkshire County. Berkshire County was ranked one of the top 10 destinations worldwide by National Geographic for our arts, culture, and natural beauty. We do have a list of the top 5 things to do. However, I'm going to skip over this. There's way more that I'd love to tell you about if you want to connect at another time. And at MCLA, we do offer study abroad. Students can choose over 30 different countries, choose from over 30 different countries. And we also have study away. So if you want to study within the United States, that's an option. And for first year requirements, we require your application, your high school transcript, personal statement, and a letter of recommendation. We have waived the SAT, ACT scores, so we no longer require that. And total cost for New York residents is $24,245, including room, board, meals, and estimated cost of books. Thank you, and that's it for me.
Ben, thanks. Thanks so much. I see James on the screen. So MCPHS is up next, Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Science. Hopefully I got that correct.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is James Donnelly. I'm the Assistant Director of Admission at MCPHS University. We are located in Boston. We're actually the oldest school in the city of Boston. We were founded in 1823, and we're going to be celebrating our 200th anniversary in a few years here. So we're very excited about that. Boston is our campus. And, you know, we are in the Longwood medical and academic area of Boston, which is in an area around major teaching hospitals. So hospitals like Boston Children's Hospital, Brigham Women's, Beth Israel, Mass General, are all right in our backyard as well. We're a smaller campus. We have about 4,500 students on our campus. And we're located in an area called the Fenway area of Boston, about, you know, a 10-minute walk to Fenway Park. And we also share the area with the College of the Fenway. So the best way I can describe it is you get the small school feel, about 4,500 students, at the same time as the large school feel through the College of the Fenway. There's about 15,000 students. We have smaller class sizes as well. 16:1 is the student to faculty ratio. We really only have 3 larger lecture halls on campus that you may find at a larger school. So you're going to get to know your professors very well. We're also a teaching institution. So all of your courses are taught by full-time faculty members. There's no TAs or graduate students teaching any of the courses. We're a very diverse campus. Our students come from 50 states, as you see here, and over 100 countries. So you're going to be in classes with students from around the globe. And all of our facilities kind of mirror the experience that you're going to receive, you know, in the healthcare setting. Most of our programs, I'll get into the programs in a little bit, but most of our programs have clinical affiliations with them. And, you know, those are kind of built into the later years of your program for you. We focus on interprofessional education, or IPE. That basically means a lot of our academic majors are working together. So for example, our nursing students may work with our health psychology students. Our pharmacy students may collaborate with our pre-med students. So we try and mirror the teamwork aspect that you're going to be receiving, you know, once you go in the healthcare field after graduation. And our graduates do very well. I would say about 70% of students 6 months after graduating either are fully employed or they go on for graduate study. Here's our majors here. We have a wide range of majors. As you see here, we've got 7 schools within the university itself. I would say our top 3 major are a doctorate of pharmacy. It's a 6-year doctorate in pharmacy, which is all at our Boston campus. And then we also have pharmaceutical sciences, pharmacology, toxicology, pharmaceutical business within the pharmacy program. Nursing, that's definitely a popular major for us. We have about 120 seats within our nursing program. It's an accelerated program, however, so it is a 3-year accelerated Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree. We have very high first-time pass rates on the NCLEX to be a registered nurse, about 90% first-time pass rates, and we have state-of-the-art nursing labs as well. We really only have 3 main academic buildings, so you're going to have most of your classes in the same 2 or 3 buildings, which is really nice. And then our housing options, housing is guaranteed for first-year students. I would say about 80% of first-year students will live on the campus, and then 20% of our students are local in the Boston area and commute to the campus. Back to the majors here. So our accelerated programs are dental hygiene, nursing, and our school medical imaging and therapeutics. All these programs are 3-year accelerated bachelor's degree programs. So they do have a summer component, fall, spring, and summer semesters in the first 2 years. And then as you see here, our School of Pharmacy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and our School of Arts and Sciences are more traditional style programs or fall, spring semester start programs. Now, Boston is the main campus, so all students come to the Boston campus first out of high school. And then we do have 2 graduate campuses. We have one in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is about an hour west of Boston. And then we have one in Manchester, New Hampshire as well. But regardless of your major out of high school, you'll start at the Boston campus. As far as our application process, we are on the Common Application. It is free to apply. There's no application fee. What we're going to look for is your official high school transcript. 1 letter of recommendation has to be an academic letter of recommendation from a school counselor or a teacher that can speak to your academics. And then also 2 essays. So we require the Common App essay and then also MCPHS specific essay, really just telling your story and your passion for the healthcare field. And then finally, we did waive the SAT and ACT requirement for all students for this next cycle. And then we do have 2 deadlines in the fall coming up as well. We have an early action deadline. Early action is great because it's non-binding. There's no commitment to MCPHS. If accepted, gives you more time to visit the campus. We have early action 1 of November 1st and early action 2 of December 1st. But the application will open on August 1st. And then we also have pretty competitive merit scholarships as well. Our merit scholarships range from $8,000 to $16,000, and they do renew for your full academic program. As for the FAFSA, the FAFSA opens up on October 1st for the rising seniors here. And for some visit opportunities, we are open for self-guided walking tours each weekend in April. So definitely check out the website for those opportunities. And then we do have one more virtual larger accepted students event for students April 6th to April 8th. That's going to be held virtually to hear more from the different academic programs as well. But again, my name is James Donnelly. I'm the Assistant Director of Admission at MCPHS. And I'll leave my contact information in the chat if anyone has any questions, but thank you very much.
James, great, thanks. All right, I think it's Callie is up next. And she is from Massachusetts Maritime Academy.
Hey everybody, my name is Callie. I am one of the assistant directors and I am also a proud grad from Mass Maritime. I studied in the emergency management program on campus. I'm hoping everybody can see this. So right here we just have, this is our whole campus. We're pretty small, about 55 acres. We are on our own little peninsula right on the Cape Cod Canal. So some quick facts. We are in Buzzards Bay. It's about an hour south of Boston, about 45 minutes to an hour from Providence, Rhode Island. We have 1,700 undergraduate students. We are a public university of the Massachusetts and a state maritime academy. So there are 6 state maritime academies. We've got 2 sort of classifications going for us there. One of the biggest misconceptions is people look at us and think that we are the military, and we most definitely are not. Most of our students do pursue civilian careers after graduation. We offer STEM-based education with a regimented campus life, and I'll get into the regiment in just a minute because that is one of the things that makes us the most different. Not only do we guarantee housing for 4 years, we actually require it because of the regiment and because we have a different lifestyle. We do require that students are on campus for all 4 years with us. And then tuition fees, room and board, including your CBAG, which is all of your uniforms and all of the equipment that you will need for out-of-state students, comes to about $42,000. That being said, we have a lot of scholarships available. For academics, we only offer 7 different majors. So I'm not going to get into describing them because we're pretty limited on time. But the 2 biggest programs that we offer are marine engineering and marine transportation. And those are what the school was founded on. And those will prepare graduates for a career at sea. So working on cruise ships, cargo ships, tankers, oil rigs, tugboats. If you have any interest in either driving or running those ships, those are 2 great programs to look at. We operate on a learn, do, learn philosophy. Experiential learning is required for all majors. It's going to be a mix of internships and co-ops, and for students in either marine engineering or marine transportation. If you can see behind me on my virtual background, we have a 540-foot training ship on our campus. And so they actually go out for 6 weeks at a time to get that firsthand experience and to get the sea time required for the license. So with those 2 programs, you are required to not only get your Bachelor of Science degree, but also a U.S. Coast Guard license as either a 3rd mate or a 3rd assistant engineer. And without that license, you can't go work on a ship. Regardless of which program you go into, there are options for careers on land or at sea. The regiment is the piece that sort of makes us a little bit different and usually has people wondering if we are the military. It looks very similar to a Navy uniform. That being said, we are not the military. There is no requirement or obligation. For students who are interested, we do have pathways to a military career. But the reason behind the regiment is that it is designed to build character and leadership skills. It enhances your academic program and contributes to career success. More than anything, we refer to it as a leadership lab or a leadership simulation. The all black uniform that you see on top is the everyday classroom uniform. The white uniform that you see on the bottom is for more formal occasions. You will wear your uniform throughout the day in class in the mess deck, which is what we call our cafeteria. So a little bit different. You will have a very structured daily schedule with different regimental obligations. So it could be watch standing, it could be cleaning stations, a little bit extra that we add on to the academics that you will have. And there are a lot of opportunities to advance in leadership positions. So as a freshman, it's all about sort of learning how to follow. And then as you progress through to sophomore, junior, and senior years, you can take on those leadership roles and be training the underclassmen. This sort of puts us back into the realm of some traditional college aspects. We do have Division III athletics. The men's and women's teams are listed here. The disclaimer that I throw is we don't have really any winter sports because that's when our students are doing their internships or co-ops. So our schedule is a little bit different. Our students are not on campus or in classes typically in January and February. They are either on C term or doing that experiential learning, or they're doing a 6-week co-op, and those take place all over the country and all over the globe. And then we have a very active student government association, hosting different dress down days, pop-up events, Emory Rice Day, which is a big field day on campus, which everybody loves. If you do have the military interest, we have clubs and ROTC programs on campus that students can get involved in. And then 7th company is students who are interested in either the band or the honor guard or drill team. And you don't necessarily have to have any experience prior to coming to Mass Maritime or joining 7th company. We will train you on all of those things once you are there. And then I'm going to show, here's our contact information. So some of our Instagram, phone number, email address. We are on the Common App, which was a new change this year. We have an early application deadline of November 15th. Not binding, it just means you're going to hear sooner. And that's it from me. If anybody has any questions, please let us know.
Perfect, Callie, thanks so much. All right, Demira from the University of Rochester, you're up next. Again, I don't want everybody to leave quite at the end. Please do stick around. First, a few wrap-up things. And again, if you've got questions, the Q&A function is live and active. So University of Rochester, you are on the board.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Demira. I am an admissions counselor with the University of Rochester. And kind of like everyone else, I'm an alum of the university. Working in admissions is a pretty easy job when you love your institution so much. In an effort to, stay with time, I'm just going to talk very quickly about some of the key features about the university. This is a picture of our River campus. It's where our School of Arts, Sciences, and Engineering is located. Something that I think is really important for students to understand is we are the School of Arts, Sciences, and Engineering. We combined all the schools back in the 90s. What this means is that when you apply to Rochester, you're not applying to a specific major. You're applying simply to the school. And then once you're here, our philosophy is as long as you can do the work, you can get the degree. No one declares their major until the end of their sophomore year. And it works even better because then if you are someone who maybe starts off in engineering and then decides that's not what you want, you can switch out. You just fill out like one piece of paper or vice versa. We're a mainly residential campus. About 90% of our students live on campus all 4 years, but it's not required. It's just the fact that, we have over 300 clubs, several dining halls, a gym, several research centers on campus. And so for a lot of our students, their entire college career is happening on this campus. Across the street from the River campus is the University of Rochester's Medical Center. A lot of our students have pre-med or pre-health interests. So, they're able to get that hands-on experience as an undergraduate student by going right across the street. And then in the downtown area is our Eastman School of Music. It's one of the, most well-known music conservatories in the nation. And for a lot of our students who are musically inclined, they get excited to know that they could take private lessons at Eastman or that they can actually see shows for free using their university ID card. This is just, the motto of the University of Rochester, this idea of ever better, learn, discover, heal, create, and make the world ever better. So this idea that we can approach systematic issues kind of with an interdisciplinary approach. This interdisciplinary approach is really stressed by our Rochester curriculum. At the U of R, there are no prerequisites, meaning you only take classes for your major. And to ensure that our students are still well-rounded, you have to take classes in these things called clusters. A cluster is a set of 3 thematically related classes outside of your major and in a different academic field. So for this student, for example, their major is in economics, and they did a cluster in applied stats. And they originally did a cluster in Spanish, but then they turned it into a minor. It's really easy for our students to double major, about 50% do, because of our open curriculum. It also makes it really easy for our engineering students to minor or cluster or even study abroad as well, because for engineers, they only need to complete 1 cluster outside of their major. And again, this focus on, trying to have students that are really engaged with the curriculum is we are a Tier 1 research university. About 77% of our students participate in research at some point during their 4 years. 95% will participate in an internship. And what this does is it prepares our students for any post-college outcome, whether it's going to work, which 56% of our respondents said that they had found employment right after graduation, while 40% had said that they were going on to graduate school. I also just want to really make it clear that the University of Rochester is dedicated to not only bringing students to campus, but supporting them once they get to campus, whether it's at our Interfaith Chapel, a non-denominational chapel that any religion can use and is pro-LGBTQ, to our Intercultural Center, which is supportive of students of marginalized and intersectional identities, or our iZone for students who have entrepreneurial interests and kind of need an area to collaborate with one another. And for our basic application, the only thing I really want to stress is that we employ holistic review, meaning we don't have any GPA cutoffs, test score cutoffs, anything like that. We've actually been test optional for 2 years now, so even before COVID. The one thing that I would really recommend to students is that, you show that you have an interest in us and you come to our virtual events. and that you interview if you have the opportunity. Interviews will open up by the summer for students who are rising seniors. And we do have merit scholarships. There's no separate application for them. About half of our students will be granted a merit scholarship. And we do meet full demonstrated financial aid as long as students fill out the FAFSA and CSS profile. And yeah, this is just our contact information. I wanted to stay on time, and I think I actually finished a bit too soon.
Demira, you're great. Thanks so much. All right. Thank you, everybody, for staying on time, staying on track. Chris, Zach, Ben, James, Callie, and Demira, you all did a wonderful job. So we've got a few minutes left here. And I do want to do one little wrap up, and then I'll do a closing housekeeping slide and then dismiss everybody. So in presentation order, so Chris, Zach, Ben, James, Callie, and Demira. For our audience, I do want to do a quick round robin, 20-ish seconds or so, as to how you would answer this question for our folks on the other side listening to you all. And here is the question. It is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process right now? Knowing where we are and the audience that we might have, what advice would you give? So Chris, you're up, followed by Zach, Ben, James, Callie, and Demira, and your best 20-second answer. Here we go.
Thank you. So I think the best advice I would give is just try to visit, however it is, virtually, in person, as many campuses as you can, so you can get a feel for if you could see yourself, calling that place home for 4 years. The one thing I forgot to mention is that we are doing on-campus and virtual visits at Endicott. You can find those on our website, but I think that's so huge in the college search process. A lot of students will say when they get on a campus that feels like home, like that's the feeling you get. And a lot of times that's a huge reason students are choosing the school. So communicate with your admissions counselor as well, because they're great resources in the search process.
Great. Zach.
Yeah, so visiting is huge, but I'd say, when you're evaluating schools, whether that's because you were visiting their campus or because you were reading about them online, keep in mind what's important to you, whether that's cost or program or that they have the right sport for you. That's all really important. And if you're not sure what's most important to you, then I would say anytime you interact with a school, write down what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, if anything seemed really cool or really odd. And then, as you write those things down, I think it'll help you kind of figure out, maybe I didn't realize that being in a small school is important to me, but I made a note about that at every school I looked at. So that's a good way, if you're not sure what's important to you, to figure out what might be.
Great. How about Ben?
My 20 seconds of advice would be attend any virtual offering. I know that there's a lot been going on this year with virtual, but if there is an accepted student day or student week, these schools are putting on these opportunities for you to connect with faculty members or students. So really just connecting with the people that are going to be teaching your future classes or students that are going to be your peers, making those connections and taking advantage of those opportunities that are already created for you definitely will help.
Great. James?
Yes, I would say definitely ask questions, like everyone else said, ask questions of your admissions counselor, get in contact with them. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions because they're definitely there for you and they want to help you along the difficult process over your senior year. And then definitely spend time on your college essay. That allows you to tell your story, really outside of your grades and academics. And I know specifically at MCPHS, we put a lot of emphasis on that MCPHS specific essay.
Perfect. Callie?
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate what everybody else has already said. I think getting on campuses is huge. I know that's difficult right now. So whether it's virtual or in person at Mass Maritime, we're currently offering both options. A lot of times when I'm talking to students who are looking at maritime academies, I say, make sure you look at them all. We all have so many similarities and so many differences. And so a lot of it comes down to what campus is going to the most feel like home for 4 years and which one's going to get you on the path to the career that you want. So it's gotta have a good fit and it's gotta feel right.
Okay, to round this out, Tamara.
So I guess to just add to what everyone else has said, I'm also the transfer counselor for the U of R. And I guess if the one piece of advice I could give, especially after this very difficult year, would be during this college process, be kind to yourself and always understand that there's not one correct path to an education. It's okay if at any time you mess up or you change your mind, you decide that you want to go to a different school, you decide that you want to switch your major. Just make sure that you try your hardest to give yourself some slack. So that would be my advice.
Great. All right. Thanks, everyone. All right. Let me advance a couple of my slides here to get to the closing slide, and then we'll come back on the screen to do a gather review and just dismiss everybody and wave goodbye. So folks on the other side who have been watching this, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you taking advantage of hearing from all these schools, these great places. After you sign out, you will get a quick 4-question survey that we ask you to complete. This is just an opportunity to make StriveScan's product and program better for you all. Again, sign up for as many sessions as you want through that link that you see down there. I know that there's a few other capital area sessions going on. And then again, this was recorded. So if you want to rewind and here's something again, you can always go back to that URL that you see there to watch the recording of this particular session. So, all right, let me stop this and escape out of all of my screens here. And if we can all just come back on the screen, the panelists, one last time, and we're just going to wave goodbye to our audience. Thanks again for you all joining us. Damara, Chris, Zach, Ben, James, Callie, thank you for your time tonight. And I really appreciate you taking us through your universities and your institutions. All right. Thanks, and be safe and be well out there. Good night.